Hello everyone, welcome back to another live stream here on Play on GAA. Now this is the third live watch along I've ever done. It's the first live watch along I have ever done on a hurling match. So I am very much looking forward to having to change the scoreline pretty much every second of the game. But it is my County Dublin up against Clare, and this is the live watch along. I mean, going into this game, it's going to be very difficult for Dublin. We are underdogs, but I do think we can do it. I do think we can win. Clare dropped their level against Wexford in the All-Ireland Quarter Final last year. Wexford were able to go toe-to-toe with them. And Dublin have beaten Wexford now in back-to-back seasons. So I would be fairly confident that we can put up a good fight to Clare in this game. We've made good progress this season, so I can't wait to see what goes on with this. So let's check on the teams real quick. So we're going to first look at Dublin's team before the game throws in. So here it is, courtesy of Dublin's official Instagram page. Now, of course, we have in goal here, we have Sean Brennan. Full back line, John Bellew from Lucan Sarsfields, Owen O'Donnell from Whitehall, Colmkill, and Paddy Smith from Clontarf. Half back line is Paddy Doyle, Conor Burke, and Dara Gray. Midfield is Mark Rogan and Chris O'Leary. Half forward line, Danny Sutcliffe, Donald Burke, and Keane Boland. And the full forward line is Sean Curry, Keane O'Sullivan, and Dara Power. Now, thoughts on this lineup, my thoughts on this team. I think obviously the key man here is Donald Burke. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Donald Burke is Dublin's top scorer, Dublin's go-to man. Also, a big performance I think Dublin need from Keane O'Sullivan on the edge of the square. Keane O'Sullivan is a goal-getter for Dublin, and his performances against Waterford at the start of the league were hugely influential. We have a comment in here from the Meadman. You should do watch-alongs for the GA Go games because most people can't watch them and would like commentary. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Unfortunately, I don't have the access to GA Go today myself either, and this is the game I'm certainly keeping an eye on as well. But here in this Dublin team, obviously on top of that, another key player that I would want to point out here is Owen O'Donnell at the edge of the square from Whitehall Colmkills. Fantastic fullback, genuinely in my opinion one of the best defenders in the country. His performance is going to be crucial. Who will he pick up? I imagine he might just go straight toe-to-toe with Peter Duggan. Although Paddy Smith beside him is a big lad, potentially he could pick up Duggan either. It would be interesting to see who picks up Shane O'Donnell, who picks up Tony Kelly, because speaking of Clare's players, we're going to move over to their team now. So this is, of course, courtesy of official Clare GAA's Instagram page. You have Ava Quilligan in goal, full-back line, Adam Hogan, Rory Hayes, and Shane Amori. Half-back line, Diarmuid Ryan, John Conlon, and David McInerney. Midfield, Cathal Malone and David Fitzgerald. Half-forward line, Peter Duggan, Tony Kelly, and Ryan Taylor. And a full-forward line then of Ian Galvin, Shane O'Donnell, and Mark Rogers. And then for their subs, we have them here. So, of course, on the bench, they have Eamon Fody, David Reedy, Dara Lohan, Shane Meehan, Aaron Shanaher, Patrick Crotty, Paul Flanagan, Keane Nolan, Keane Galvin, David Conroy, and Paddy Donnellan. So, going back to Clare's lineup here, obviously, key man is Tony Kelly. They're the key player. Tony Kelly, Shane O'Donnell, David Fitzgerald at midfield, John Conlon at centre-back. But a big performance, I think, is going to be needed from Rory Hayes today, because I actually imagine Rory Hayes might be put on Donald Burke. Hayes is able to follow players around the field, stick to them whether they're in the half-forward line or the full-forward line. I think his role today will be absolutely crucial, keeping tabs on Dublin's crucial number 10 now, or number 11, sorry. Tony Kelly going the other way, obviously as crucial as ever. Mark Rogers, his performance against Limerick in the Munster final was fantastic. He needs to keep up that form as well. But yeah, any player could have a huge game. Diarmuid Ryan is another player that deserves a shout out there at right half back. He has been fantastic for Clare throughout the championship. His performance in the final few moments against Cork was outstanding. But yeah, the players are launched into position. We are about to get ready. My final prediction for the Dublin versus Clare live watch along. My final prediction. My heart says Dublin. My head says Clare. And my honest opinion is I think Dublin can win this, but I am going to say Clare by 4, and we are underway. Dublin versus Clare. It is thrown in from the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. And straight away, Cathal Malone picking up the ball. And just the other thing that you notice about Cathal Malone is the size of the fella. Like, Clare don't get enough credit, in my opinion, for the size that they have around midfield. Cathal Malone and David Fitzgerald, the two of them are absolute units there in midfield. And I think it's no surprise that they were the team that were able to go toe-to-toe with Limerick. When you compare, really, that Will O'Donoghue goes toe-to-toe with a Cathal Malone or David Fitzgerald, they can go straight toe-to-toe with them. Dublin have a free here. Donald Burke steps up. He's hit that one low. It's batted away. Still there. Well cleared, well dealt with. Dublin on the ball here. Danny Sutcliffe on it. Sutcliffe turns back onto his left and strikes wide. So that was actually an early chance there for Dublin. Shot dropped short, batted away by Quilligan. And I have noticed there are a few changes. I will update you on them as soon as I know about them myself. If you know what changes have been made, put them in the comments there. Dublin have number 22 starting. I'll look that up when we get a break in the play. Shane Amori on this one now. Out over the line, Dublin line ball. Dara Gray trying to take this quickly. And that's a big moment there that Dublin didn't get anything out of that first attack. Dublin would have loved a great start there. Dara Gray's sideline goes straight to David Fitzgerald. His hand pass is loose, picked up by Chris O'Leary. Now it's Cian Boland from St. Oliver Plunkett's. Boland looked like he could have been fouled there. Wasn't given. Ian Galvin to Mark Rogers onto his left. And he's also hit the ball wide. Mark Rogers, his first wide of the game. So 2 shots at the post in the opening 2 minutes, yielding 2 wides. Short puck out by Sean Brennan. That's definitely a foul there on Paddy Doyle, I believe it is. We'll find out now who the changes are. So, of course, we had the Dublin team up here a minute ago. Number 22 was starting. You can have a look at that. Number 22 is Paul Crummy. And that doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. Paul Crummy is a forward. I was surprised to see Dara Power listed. He's a midfielder. He did play midfield for Dublin at the age groups. And that is the opening point of the game, struck over by Ian Galvin. Lovely strike on that. And Clare take the lead. So, yeah, I mean, is that the difference? Clare could be more clinical than Dublin, definitely going forward. John Conlon with the iconic armband on, always on that left arm. Would love to know what the purpose of that armband is on John Conlon's arm all the time. Diarmuid Ryan firing this ball forward now. Burke goes up. It breaks to literally the worst player could break to. Tony Kelly. Goal on here. Back of the net. That is not good for Dublin. I mean, the minute that ball broke off Conor Burke, it fell to literally the worst player that it could possibly have fallen to in Tony Kelly. And, yeah, took his time on the left. Bang. Into the corner of the net. The Dublin defence just parted. That is not good. Dublin trying to respond down the other end. Mark Rogan drops it short. Ava Quilligan comes out, taps it out to John Conlon. This is the worst possible start for Dublin. Like, I'm being honest. To concede a goal that early, we need a score. We need the next score. Shane O'Donnell on the ball here now. O'Donnell, lovely short pass to Diarmuid Ryan, who's moved up from right half back. Interestingly, Donald Burke is the one tracking him. Ryan over his left shoulder, and that shot has gone wide. So, yeah, like, just the worst possible time to describe it to anyone. Clare hit a long ball into the half-forward line. Conor Burke went up for it alongside, I believe it was Peter Duggan. It broke down to Tony Kelly. Tony Kelly scooped it up, ran in, and on his left, buried it in the corner of Sean Brennan's net. Now, there's been a heavy hit there on John Conlon. The hit was by Conor Burke. Yeah, that was a frontal shoulder. There's no question about it from Conor Burke. I feel like Dublin, we can't get rattled here now. Because if we get rattled, we'll get blown away. Like, we will get blown away. This Clare team has the ability to absolutely run amok on us. And this is not the start that we would have wanted to this game. No, sir. So, yeah, very, very interesting to see what will be going on now with this. Mark Rogers is stepping over this. And you can pretty much guarantee that this is going straight over the bar, in my opinion. Straight over the bar. Mark Rogers gets his first point of the day. Clare 1-2, Dublin no score. Now remember, guys, if you're watching this, throw in any comments that you have about the game, because it's not been a good start for Dublin. Ryan Taylor, back to David Fitzgerald. That is as easy a shot as he's going to get all day, and he put it wide. Now that is not a great shot from Davy Fitz in midfield. Of course, last year won an All-Star, absolutely outstanding midfielder, but he'll be very disappointed that he didn't score that one. Sean Brennan now. 5.5 minutes gone. No Dublin score as of yet. We need one now. Shane O'Donnell wins the puck out, gives it to Diarmuid Ryan, on to Tony Kelly. He has a second to look at the post. That's all he needs, usually. Not this time. Another wide for Clare. That's their third wide of the game. Not the best of starts in terms of shooting. But the goal here, it didn't even look like Tony Kelly was running full pace. That's one thing that's disappointing about it. It seemed like it came quite easy. Line ball here for Dublin now. Come on, lads. Just settle down. Clare got the run on us. Let's get back into the game. And that's the worst thing that can happen. Like, when you are giant underdogs going into a game, the worst thing that can happen is that you get a really bad start. And that's what Dublin have got. Dublin have got a really bad start to this game. Now here we have another comment in here from Meathman. Opinions on Donald Logue's comments the other day where he said that the hurling this weekend isn't being promoted enough despite both games on RTE. Yeah, I do kind of like agree with his comments in terms of that, like, just having the games on RTE doesn't necessarily mean that they're being promoted the best. Like, I've always been saying, like, we need preview shows. We need, deep analysis shows where, like, we really get to build for the game. You look at, like, what Sky Sports do with big Premier League games, like the up for the match stuff that they do for the All-Ireland Final, for example. Why don't they do that for other games? That's just one thing that I would recommend going forward. But yeah, in-depth review show will be over the weekend. And yeah, we will be discussing all the talking points from the weekend, including talking points in the punditry box. So 100% tune in for that. But I do really appreciate the comment there. Dublin could get their first score here. Donald Burke, why did he not shoot for the point there? Come on, lads. Like, trying to play it into Paul Crummy, batted away by Adam Hogan, out for a 65 for Dublin. Now, Burke needs to score this one. So, like, Dublin, Burke had an easy shot at a point. I can kind of see what he was going for, actually. All right, I do kind of take that back because I could kind of see what he was looking for there when I looked at the replay. Oh, this is dreadful. Donald Burke has pulled a muscle in his right leg. And do you know what? I genuinely feel like I am watching Dublin's Championship 2023 walk off the pitch. Like, Donald Burke injured, he's gone. Simple as, game over. Donald Burke subbed off. Fergal Whiteley has come in for him. But that is literally... This 8 minutes has been literally the worst 8 minutes that could possibly have happened for Dublin. The only way it would have been worse if they'd have got a red card. Keane O'Sullivan standing over the resulting free, and he scores. Well done, Keane. We needed that one. But yeah, like, Donald Burke going off, Tony Kelly getting the goal. Like, literally the worst start to a game that we could have had when we were going in as underdogs anyway. It's going to take a huge performance from Dublin here to pull this one back. Conor Burke over this ball now for Dublin. Fell by Tony Kelly from the resulting puck out after that. O'Sullivan free. Burke goes short to Paddy Doyle. And Conor Burke goes down. That looked questionable enough to me now. No free given. Tony Kelly goes straight in. Mark Rogers, it breaks off him to David Fitzgerald. This is trouble for Dublin. Mark Rogers, well defended. Well defended, lads. Well done. Keane Boland on the ball here now for Dublin. Straight down the pipe to Shane Amori. Dublin have it back again. Chris O'Leary in the white helmet. Across as far as Paul Crummy from Lucan Sarsfields, of course. Brothers of Chris Crummy, who wish Chris was playing in this game. Paul Crummy off his right-hand side. That's a ridiculous angle. And he has not made it. Now, don't blame him for shooting. Like, I don't think there was much on there. And if he put it over the bar, you would have said, well done. So, I mean, fair play to him for taking the shot. Didn't pay off there. 9.5 minutes gone. Still 1-2 to Clare. 1 point to Dublin. Shane Amori getting past Keane Boland. Back out to Ryan Taylor. This should end in a point for Ryan Taylor. And he has put it wide. I mean, that's another wide for Clare. Like, look, they had a similar enough start against Wexford where they were way off the pace, look, apart from the goal. But even though Clare got the goal, I haven't been too impressed with them so far. Like, Dublin haven't played great. And that's a shot into the square. Well won by Danny Sutcliffe. Danny turns. That looked like a foul by Cian Nolan. Not given. John Conlon out to Cathal Malone. But there, when Danny Sutcliffe turned, that looked like he could do serious damage. And that could be a potential route to success for Dublin. Ian Galvin down the other end. Shot at the post. Another wide. So they haven't been good with their shooting in this first half at all. Of course, we have Marty and we have Michael Dignan on the commentary on RTE. Dara Gray inside to Paul Crummy here now. Battling with Adam Hogan. Surely fouled, is fouled. That's a free in for Dublin. Paul Crummy showing a lot of heart there. But it is definitely an option there for Dublin to hit Clare with that direct long ball, especially with Conor Cleary not being there. His loss is absolutely huge. If Clare want to win the All-Ireland, they need Conor Cleary back. There's just no two ways about it. Micheál Donoghue there, of course. First year in charge of Dublin. I think he's actually done really, really well with this Dublin team so far. I have been impressed with what I've seen. Like I said at the start, I would have probably chosen Eddie Brennan, but I was happy with Micheál Donoghue when he came in. That's a good option as well. And he so far is proving himself to have been a good option. Now, Cian O'Sullivan standing over this. I am that confident, Cian, that I am going to change the scoreboard already. Because this is a dead easy free here for a man of his ability. Here we go. Straight over. Well done, Cian. Now, he has a huge level of responsibility on his shoulders here now. The fact that Donald Burke is gone, Cian O'Sullivan is on the freeze. He needs to play literally the game of his life. 12 minutes gone, 1-2 to Clare, 2 points to Dublin. 7 minutes since Clare's last score. This is what I'm talking about. I've not been that impressed with them. They've had plenty of chances to score. Dublin firing one from a huge distance. Chris O'Leary, wide. Not a bad effort. I mean, he definitely had the range. Quilligan with the puck out to John Conlon, who seems to be in an acre of space for every single puck out. David Fitzgerald, lovely touch to get past O'Leary, and he powers past Cian Boland as well. Fitzgerald, dodgy hand pass, looking for Ryan Taylor, didn't get it. And now here's Dara Power. Cian Boland fires it into Danny Sutcliffe, foul on him. And Sutcliffe is holding his left leg. And that was a foul there by the Clare number 18. I'm going to get it up who exactly that is. I believe my first instinct is that it's Dara Lohan. I wonder if he's any relation to Brian Lohan himself. But this will be another point for Dublin here. Cian O'Sullivan looking to get it. And you know what? Like, considering the start that was made to the game, if Dublin, go into the 14th minute, only 2 points behind, that's actually not bad at all. Clare really should be already 6-7 points ahead of us, considering how we haven't played that well and how many shots they've had at the goal. O'Sullivan just about puts that over. That really was close. But 3 points for Cian O'Sullivan, 3 points for Dublin, all 3 points from frees. Dublin have not scored from play since the start of the game. Dublin haven't scored from play. And yet we're only 2 points behind. That could be about to change. David Fitzgerald just firing in from distance. Absolutely no intent on where he's going with this. Wide ball. Sean Brennan on this puck out now for Dublin. Fires it out to the left. Out towards Cian O'Sullivan. Well played there by Rory Hayes. He's picked up O'Sullivan. Into Diarmuid Ryan. Off to Tony Kelly. Oh, acre of space here for David Fitzgerald. Completely left unmarked. Charging through the middle. Could go for goal. Does. And puts it over the bar. Hit it too hard. But he was left in an acre of space there by the Dublin defence. And you could tell he was going for it, but he puts it over the bar instead. And Dublin got away with one there because no doubt Fitzgerald has the capability to rattle the back of the net from there. 15 minutes gone. Clare 1-3, Dublin 3 points. And given the start that was made to the game, I would have taken being 3 points down at this stage. And the fact that we haven't scored yet from play should be about to change here. Fergal Whiteley, free shot at the posts, over the bar. Well done. Now, we're hanging on in this game. You just think it is gas, isn't it? That, as the underdogs, we lose our most important player immediately. Like, going to the Gaelic grounds to face Clare is so difficult. Like, this is a ground where Clare have beaten Limerick on this season. Conor Burke now. Out to Mark Grogan from Kilmacud Crokes. First year really in the senior panel where he's been given a jersey and, you know, given a consistent run in the team. He's done really well. Out to Paul Crummy, little shimmy, little dummy, and over the bar with the right side. Fantastic score by Paul Crummy. He was pretty much out on the sideline and managed to put it over the bar. Great score by Paul Crummy. And that's why he wasn't wrong to take on the one that he put wide. He has it in the locker to put it over from there. And for Dublin now, 1 point behind, feeling fairly confident, cautiously optimistic about this game. I was at the start. That definitely took a rattle, and it could take a rattle here. Shane O'Donnell switches it across to Ian Galvin. Oh, what a save by Sean Brennan. Dara Gray on the rebound. It's come back to Shane O'Donnell, and O'Donnell clips it over the bar. By God, we got away with one there. Fantastic save by Sean Brennan. I mean, fantastic. I mean, Shane O'Donnell there, what happened was Shane O'Donnell caught a puck out. His Dublin marker went flying out over the sideline trying to catch that puck out as well. O'Donnell got a clean run. Ian Galvin got free. He squared it to Galvin. Galvin got a shot off. Brilliantly saved by Sean Brennan. It came back out. Dara Gray and Shane O'Donnell were battling for it. It came to O'Donnell. I honestly think he could have gone for a goal, but he clipped it over the bar. Probably the wise decision, but maybe he could have got the goal there and potentially put Dublin in a really tough spot. Down the other end, Cian O'Sullivan, 2 on goal. No! Worst decision to do. It's come out. Back of the net. Fantastic goal by Dublin. Fantastic goal by Dara Power. I thought Cian O'Sullivan did make a mess of it. The hand pass across. Mistake by Cathal Malone. He should have caught that. It came out to Dara Power and he stuck it in the net with his right. Fantastic finish past Ava Quilligan. And Power is someone that played at midfield for the under-20s and for the minors. That's why I was surprised he was listed at 15. He has been playing out around the midfield. They've been playing with a 2-man inside forward line of Cian O'Sullivan and Paul Crummy. And Dara Power is out picking up Ryan Taylor. But he got forward for that goal, stuck it in the net. Dublin won 5, Clare won 4 after 18 minutes. We have commented, the one time you'll catch me rooting for Dublin as a Meath man. I appreciate the support. We need all we can get. This is really going to be the scalp of all scalps, in my opinion, if we can do it. I'm cautiously optimistic. Fergal Whiteley now. Definitely a foul there by Peter Duggan on Paddy Doyle. Doyle looked rattled enough. But for Clare, like, you must be wondering, this is an interesting situation for them to be in. And given the fact that whoever wins this would go into an All-Ireland semi-final where they would face off against Kilkenny, and for Clare, given the defeat that they had to Kilkenny last year, they must be dying to, you know, put right the wrongs of what happened in the All-Ireland Hurling semi-final last year. Cian O'Sullivan has dropped all the way back to his half-back line to have a crack at this. He's absolutely bombed it. It's going to drop into the square. The break, it's on the ground there. There's about 6 lads around it. Can Dublin get their hands on it? Fergal Whiteley's there. It comes out to Duggan. And now Cathal Malone charging away for Clare. Being chased by Mark Grogan. Back to Shane O'Donnell. Short ball to David Fitzgerald. Charging through the middle. Past Conor Burke. This is dangerous for Dublin. David Fitzgerald could go all the way. He gives a hand pass off to Rogers. Goal! Sean Brennan is calling for steps. It won't be. And that is all from David Fitzgerald. Absolutely fantastic run through the heart of the Dublin team. He drew all the attention to him. Hand passed it off to Mark Rogers. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No way that was steps. And yeah, you could argue as well, like, Brennan tries to take him out there. He's not letting him through. Oh, that is a huge hit on John Conlon. Danny Sutcliffe keeps going. He's after rolling over about 6 Clare lads. And he has... That looked over to me. It's been given wide. But John Conlon, like, when I seen that, that looked like one of the heaviest hits I've ever seen. And how Sutcliffe just walked away from that completely unscathed. is beyond me. I think we could be in for a long stoppage here, guys, because that puck out, Sutcliffe just basically landed on John Conlon like that. He was just completely off balance in the air, and just, yeah, that looked like a very, very heavy hit. I hope he's all right. But to go back to the David Fitzgerald, yeah, so Fitzgerald just saw a gap between. We'll take a look at the numbers here to refresh my memory on who's number 18 for Dublin, because that was who else he ran past. Number 18 as well, James Madden. So he ran through James Madden and Conor Burke, picked a gap and ran through the two of them. And then he just powered on. He just saw an opportunity, powered on. The Dublin defence were at 6s and 7s. There was a massive gap down the middle. They flooded across to try and get to him. He switched it across to Mark Rogers, who took it past Sean Brennan and batted it into the net. Number 22 is ready to come on for Dublin. We'll get this up now, who that is. Number 22. It looks like Paul Crummey's number 22 there. I wonder what's going on here. But it is interesting to see now here. I'm sorry, it's 22 for Clare. I've left my brain at home today, guys. 22 for Clare is Paul Flanagan. Not a bad sub at all to have to bring on. So will he come in for John Conlon? Because, I mean, that was a savage hit. Like, that was genuinely one of the hardest hits I've seen this season. It has been. Predictably a long stoppage after a hit like that. You have to make sure that he's okay. I wonder will they show a replay of this. But there's no way it was steps. I mean, Brennan immediately turned to the ref and called for steps. He took 5 steps at best. And Sean Brennan went to take him out, so... But he's sitting upright again. That's good to see. But by God, he got a heavy hit there. Paul Flanagan is on the field. So I feel like that is John Conlon's day done. Yes, it is. So Paul Flanagan's in. John Conlon is off. So that's 2 huge players gone off this pitch, injured within the first 25 minutes. Donald Burke for Dublin and John Conlon for Clare. He looks like he has no idea where he is. He's being carried off. It's not a laughing matter. I hope he's okay. But there's Sutcliffe. Oh! So basically, for anybody watching, Conlon was running this, walking this way. Sutcliffe landed on him like that, and Conlon didn't even see him coming. So basically got a full man landing on his head while he was running the other way. That's some collision. Rory Hayes now for Clare. Game is back underway. There will be a big chunk of added time now because of that. Dara Power to Conor Burke. Fantastic hands by Danny Sutcliffe. But the shot is wayward. But he is carrying the fight to Clare. He is carrying the fight. All-Star, of course, back in 2013. Left the panel, of course, under Ger Cunningham. Straight back in under Matty Kenny. And has been a mainstay ever since. Quick puck out by Quilligan. And this is one thing that's annoying me. Clare are getting all their puck outs off so easy. Be it to John Conlon when he was on the field. Now to Paul Flanagan. Shane O'Donnell now to Ian Galvin. Should be a point. He's got a free shot at the post. And that is a terrible miss. That is a terrible... Limerick don't miss them. That's just the truth of it. Limerick don't miss them. That's why they've been winning All-Irelands over the last few years. Danny Sutcliffe now. Lucky not to get called for steps there, Danny. Brilliant defending, to be fair, by Paul Flanagan. Now it's Cathal Malone off his left-hand side, down into the corner. Mark Rogers is there, but Owen O'Donnell scoops it up. So O'Donnell has gone on to Rogers. Paddy Smith is on Peter Duggan. That's dodgy. Sean Brennan, big hit on him by Shane O'Donnell, calls it for a free out. I do think it probably was a foul, but I can kind of see O'Donnell's frustration. Any tackle on the goalkeeper pretty much now is always going to be given as a free. But no, that did look like a foul. That was a very, very dangerous ball, to be fair, by Owen O'Donnell to play across to Sean Brennan when he had Peter Duggan and Shane O'Donnell closing in on him. But he got away with it. And look, like, it's been a low scoring first half. Like 2-4 to 1-5 is not going to shoot the lights out of any game, really. And the lower scoring this is, the more chance Dublin have of winning, I feel. We need to score 2 or 3 goals to win this. We're not going to outscore Clare on points. Oh, fantastic catch by Cian O'Sullivan from Sean Brennan's free. He's worked it out now. And that's a heavy hit on the head there of a Dublin player this time. Danny Sutcliffe got a little clip on that hand, and it's a free in for Dublin. We're battling. There's no doubt about that. We're battling. That was a heavy fall for James Madden. Cian O'Sullivan will step over this again. Dublin have only scored 2 points in the first half from play. If we go in at halftime in any way close to Clare, if you were to tell me at the start of the game that Clare will get a goal within the first 3 minutes, Donald Burke will go off injured within the first 10, and like you will only score 2 points from play by the 28th minute, I would expect us to be miles behind. But if O'Sullivan lands this, we're only 1 point behind. Should get it. Does get it. But he hasn't got a hard free yet, to be honest. The one that was from his half-back line, that's not really even necessarily a scoreable free. But now Dublin are only 1 point behind, 28 minutes gone. I am interested to see where this goes from here. Quilligan confused by the lack of options. Coming up on 29 minutes now. I have to say, like, as a team, our high fielding, our ability to catch ball is fantastic. Ryan Taylor for Clare to David Fitzgerald. Across to Peter Duggan. I was correct in calling that Paddy Smith would go on him. He's been doing a good job on him. I haven't seen Peter Duggan in this first half. Trying to scoop it out. Ian Galvin, lovely pickup. Trouble. Well done, Dara Power. Mark Rogers still on this. Well done, Dara Gray. Conor Burke leaves it behind him. And Owen O'Donnell comes out with it for Dublin. To Dara Power. Oh. James Madden did really well there. Half an hour now gone in this game. 2-4 to Clare, 1-6 to Dublin. Long ball inside to Paul Crummy. Out in front of Shane Murray. He's turned him. He gives it inside to O'Sullivan. Oh no. He's messed it up. He didn't get the ball up into his hand. That was a goal scoring opportunity there for Dublin. And it's a free out. Oh, that's a big let off for Clare. Paul Crummy got through, laid it off. The ball bounced. O'Sullivan missed the pickup. 100% goal on there. Now, O'Sullivan was going full pace. It's very hard to pick up the ball when you're running at pace like that. But that's the difference. Those goal chances, we need to be taking them. Quilligan fires it long. Well done, Dara Gray. Blocked down by Tony Kelly, who has been relatively quiet in this first half. I know he got the goal, but apart from that, I don't think he's actually scored. Paddy Doyle has been the one picking him up. He's done a very good job so far. Now, speak of the devil, here he is, Tony Kelly. Trying to turn away. Oh, inside. David Fitzgerald again left in space. Davy Fitz fires with his right. This time doesn't miss. Now, of course, All-Star last year, David Fitzgerald, he has been magnificent in this first half. He was the one who created the second goal for Clare. And Conor Burke had drifted forward there. The pass to him didn't find him. Out for a line ball to Clare. And that sideline was too short. Come on, the Dubs. Giving a free. And Keane O'Sullivan will stick this. And then heading towards the last 2 minutes of the half, Dublin will be only 1 point behind. I am expecting a big third quarter from Clare. I am expecting Clare to come out and really try and put Dublin away at that stage. But Dublin right now are just hanging in there. They're not going away. Keane O'Sullivan, this is the first relatively difficult free he's had. Doesn't even blink. Straight over the bar from Keane O'Sullivan. Dublin are 1 point behind. Dublin 1-7. Clare 2-5. We are still in this game. Approaching half-time now. Quilligan fires this puck out. Up gets Duggan. Fantastic catch. This is trouble. Immediately, this is trouble. O'Donnell going through. Gives it across to his left. That's to Ian Galvin. They've made a mess of that. The hand pass was terrible by Shane O'Donnell. And Ian Galvin has salvaged the point out of that. But Dublin got extremely lucky there. That was a magnificent catch by Peter Duggan. Sent it to O'Donnell. O'Donnell got through. But the hand pass to Galvin was terrible. Galvin was going backwards. Couldn't scoop it up. But he managed to fire it over the bar at the end of all of that. Clare 2-6. Dublin 1-7. Down the line, well played. And that shot is over the bar, and I believe that was Mark Rogers. And Clare starting to put some distance now between the two teams. Clare 2-7, Dublin 1-7. Brennan's already got the puck out of the way. Danny Sutcliffe on his right. Should be a score, isn't. Wide ball from Dublin. There's that Sutcliffe, even though he has carried the fight, he has missed a few chances that he would normally put away. Ava Quilligan drives the puck out for Clare. David Fitzgerald. This is trouble. Tony Kelly. This is trouble. This is trouble. Goal. Just knew it. David Fitzgerald again. It comes from him. He's just causing huge trouble for us. Just like that. We've gone from being right there, right in the game, to now I don't see any way back for us. Tony Kelly's just skipped around Mark Grogan and into the back of the net. And that's the thing. He's quiet for like pretty much all but 2 plays. And in those 2 plays, he hit 2 goals. We need something before halftime. Chance here now. There's a ruck. Fergal Whiteley trying to get it. A lot of bodies in there. Dublin lads running into each other. It breaks out to Cathal Malone. He drives it down the line. 5 minutes of added time. Not that surprising. Shane O'Donnell wins the foot race with Mark Grogan. Grogan does a cheeky foul on him. Doesn't matter. Shane O'Donnell drives it over the bar. And Clare have put Dublin on the back burners in these last 5 minutes. Dublin have gone from being only 1 point behind to being now 7 points behind. in literally a matter of 5 minutes. And how we come back from that is kind of beyond me now at this stage. Another wide for Dublin. The end of the half has been our worst spell of the game. Puck out by Ava Quilligan. Diarmuid Ryan. 1-on-1 inside. Peter Duggan. Trouble. Could be game over here. It will be game over here. It is game over here. Shane O'Donnell hits the back of the net for Clare. How has it gone this pear-shaped in about 2 minutes? We literally were 1 point behind 5 minutes ago. And now we're 10 points behind. Look, for 30 minutes, we've played really, really well in this first half. We've lost our best player pretty much at the beginning of the game. But the difference in levels here is clear as day. Conor Donoghue is in onto a sinking ship now at this stage. In for James Madden. Diarmuid Ryan. Firing it across. O'Donnell here. Paddy Smith on this. Peter Duggan. That's definitely a foul. Literally, like Marty saying on the commentary, like it's trying to make sense of what has just happened in 3 minutes. Like literally 5 minutes ago, I'd say actually the accurate representation, about 6-7 minutes ago, Dublin were 1 point behind. Clare have hit 2 goals in literally a blink of an eye, and they've hit over a few points, and it's done now. We haven't done that this season. We haven't hit a spell where we've looked untouchable over 5 minutes. We battle hard. There's no doubt about that. I don't question the fight of this team, but Clare are showing levels here now. But they are still rusty. Shane O'Donnell's hit another wide there. I'd actually love to know just how many wides Clare have hit in this first half. Marty's just said there on the commentary, 4-7 of Clare's tally has come from play. I mean, that's hugely impressive. I mean, as I said, Dublin have only got, 1-3 from play? We've been pretty reliant on Keane O'Sullivan's frees in this first half. With Shane O'Donnell, like, his finishing actually hasn't been that good in this first half, but it's just the work rate. Like, his work rate is absolutely unbelievable. Another wide for Dublin. Trying to hit the ball in long. Paul Crummy underneath that. Couldn't get onto it. So in the last minute and a half now of the first half, and I would love to know what Micheál Donoghue is thinking right now. What can you say to a team in this situation? Great catch by Paddy Doyle. Drives it through the hands of Chris O'Leary. Clare onto the break. Keane O'Sullivan. Come on, Keane. We need something before halftime. Gets it onto his left. This needs to go over. It's wide. I can't lie to you guys. That's a tough one to take, that we were so close to them. Well done, Dara Gray. Taking the ball off Shane O'Donnell. It does go over the sideline, though. Tony Kelly is stepping on this, and we know what Tony Kelly's capable of doing from sideline cuts. Remember his sideline in the Munster final against Limerick last year. Speaking of Munster finals, of course, they are fresh off the back of a heartbreaking Munster final defeat for the second year in a row. And I think the worst thing about it was speaking with the Gaelic statsman there, Matthew Hurley, big shout out to him, is we were talking about how last year they did give it their all. And, you know, they couldn't have said, they literally walked off the pitch and we couldn't have given it anything else. This year, they could have actually played better. So how their heads will be going into this game interested me. And I actually, even though they're 10 points ahead, they have made a lot of mistakes and they have looked fairly rusty. But you can't ignore those 5 minutes where they just turned it on. In that 5 minutes where they just turned it on, they looked levels above us. Shot here, falls short. Paul Crummy. He's battled well in this first half against Adam Hogan. Oh, come on. Like, he's not even looking at the ball. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, look here. Paul Crummy drops the ball. Adam Hogan knows where it is. Paul Crummy goes to run for it again. Adam Hogan steps up and blocks his route to the ball. You can't let that continue like. Keane O'Sullivan now standing over this free for Dublin. And over the bar by Keane O'Sullivan, who has done well on the frees in the absence of Donald Burke. And that is half-time. Half-time, Dublin, a goal and 8. Clare, 4 goals and 8. And of course, the one thing that you have to think about when you look at it is how bad can this get in the second half? And for a half-time analysis show, I am delighted to say that I am joined by the man himself, Aaron Prendergast from Gaelic Games Fan TV. Aaron, how's the form? Not the best ending to that first half.
No, definitely not. No, keeping well. Like disappointing. Like especially all them goals going in at the end of the half. Like to be honest, it was a really, really poor first half. I don't think either team was at their best. Was nowhere near the level that I think Dublin can play at. Certainly nowhere near the level that Clare can play at as well. Like I think Clare probably coming in with a slight hangover from the Limerick game, and you could see it in the opening 20 minutes. But to be honest, like when Clare went 1-2 up and Donald Burke goes off injured, I was looking at it there and thinking that's it. Like there's just, to be fair, we get a goal after that with Keane O'Sullivan, and Clare, it was weird. Like Clare have just kept going for goals. They've just kept cutting Dublin open. Like they could have had about 6 or 7 goals in that first half. But yeah, they probably could be even more in front than they are. But yeah, I think the fact that we're just going man to man at the back, especially with those Clare forwards, it's just.
I mean, how many times have we seen such a blatant one-on-one in that first half? Peter Duggan has been inside one-on-one so many times. Who's marking David Fitzgerald as well? How many times has he just ran through the defence?
Yeah, they're all just running through. It's like open season, and it's just the defence completely wide open. There's no. I know sometimes people complain about playing sweepers and hurling or being a lot more defensive, but I think that was the only way we could do something here. I think because it's kind of and it's a wonder more teams haven't tried this against Dublin. Just try and run at them and just try go for goals, because at the end of the day, a goal is worth 3 points. So you'll build up a bigger margin. And yeah, we've just been absolutely cut to pieces. And I don't even think Clare have been at their best. If Clare if Clare want to turn it on in the second half, they could absolutely batter us. This could be 6-18 to 2-12.
I am worried going into the second half. I can't lie. I'm worried going into the second half of what they could do to us in the second half. They could score. They genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised if Clare went on to score 3 more goals in the second half.
Yeah, my only hope is that it has been a common theme at times in the hurling championship this year for teams to build up a big lead and then going into the second half completely switch off, and we could see Clare completely now turn towards that All-Ireland semi-final against Kilkenny and lose focus on what might on this game, and Dublin might sort of grow more momentum into it. But it's just going to be very tough, especially without Donald Burke. There was a few frees there that we nearly missed. And yeah, I think Danny Sutcliffe has been very quiet. A few young lads in there, Adam Hogan and a few others. But yeah, it just hasn't quite clicked. And to be fair, Dublin aren't an All-Ireland contender. Clare are in the top 3, I would say, alongside Limerick and Kilkenny.
No, let's be honest. The only way we were going to win this game was if we had the performance of our lives and Clare completely took their eye off the ball. And genuinely going into this game at the start, I did have cautious optimism. I was saying, you know what, I think we can catch them, because having seen how they played against Wexford last year in the All-Ireland Quarter Final, having seen how close Wexford took them, and we've beaten Wexford back-to-back seasons now. I know GA math doesn't always add up. I know hurling math doesn't always add up. But then to see as well, I felt like I was delusional saying I haven't been that impressive with Clare. I haven't been that impressed with Clare. But I haven't been. And apart from a 5-minute spell where they blew us away at the end of the first half, they were missing so many chances. And just my question to you is, did Clare pick it up? Like, did Dublin drop off for 5 minutes, or did Clare actually just finally start taking the chances that they were getting?
Yeah, I think Clare just finally started taking the chances, like, because there was one save the goalkeeper makes. There was another instance where they were 2v2.
There was another one where Shane O'Donnell got through and absolutely botched the hand pass to Ian Galvin.
Yeah, yeah, and there's
Yeah.
been a few other like half chances here and there as well, like, and yeah, like I think eventually, you know, the floodgates just opened and Clare just started taking their chances. Because yeah, like it was been a strange like first half performance for Clare for the majority. Like they haven't looked as good as what they could normally do, and at times, like, you know, passes have gone astray, and around the middle, Dublin have probably won that battle from time to time. But no, yeah, like Clare, like once they clicked into gear, and like to be fair, you could always kind of see this happening, but yeah, to concede 4 goals in the first half, 3 in very, very quick succession, you know, it's just going to be very tough now to get anything going into the second half. Like my hope is that we at least make a game out of it, and this isn't, you know, 10, 15 points. But yeah, like I think realistically, like this is just the level that Dublin hurling is at right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we obviously mentioned about the Donald Burke injury. Sorry, another injury in the first half was John Conlon. He went off. That's one of the heaviest hits I've seen in a long, long time. For anybody who didn't see it, John Conlon is running this way. He hasn't jumped. Danny Sutcliffe jumps, and I think it's like his knees or his hip goes straight into John Conlon's face while he's running full pace the other way. Like it was an awful hit, and he went off. He looked like he didn't know what day it was. Like, yeah. I hope he's okay, but like if he's out, that's a huge blow for Clare going forward.
Yeah, and like you don't know with concussion, like a lot of the times, like we've seen Aidan McCarthy missed good chunks of last season because of, you know, post concussion symptoms. So you hope he's well. You know, I suppose that's the first thing. And yeah, like if they do get him back for the semi final, yeah, it'd be huge. Like because he's such a key player, and he'd be so important for that Kilkenny attack. Like you think TJ Reid normally sort of operates probably in around where John Conlon plays for Clare, so that would, you know, that could maybe be a matchup for the ages potentially. So yeah, like that'd be hugely important to get him back. But you know, obviously, I think the most important thing first of all is that he's you know, that he's okay first of all, because as you said, like it was a gigantic hit, very, very heavy hit.
And playing this way, honestly, if Clare played the way that they played in the first half against Kilkenny, I think Kilkenny blow them away again. I'm just going to be completely honest. Kilkenny will up their level. I think Clare need to be at least as good as they were when they beat Cork and when they beat Limerick. I think they need to be at least that good going into the Kilkenny game.
100%, yeah. Like, and to be fair, I think they will raise their game for it, because I think they'll be well wary of obviously what happened last year, and they'll want to avenge it. And you know, I'm sure it'll be mentioned plenty of times in training and the build up to the game and everything else. And the lads will be hungry to sort of get that revenge. So yeah, no, I think from a Clare perspective, like I think they will raise their game. I think this is just it's one of them weird games, like where for Clare, where like every game that Clare have played this year has been hugely intense, highest of the high standards, and then you go in and play Dublin and you're massive favourites, and it's kind of a different dynamic to what Clare have been used to all season. But yeah, no, I think they will raise their game for that. But look, I suppose they need to see the game through first of all. But I think, you know, you'd be massively shocked if they let this one slip.
Mm-hmm. And I haven't been keeping an eye myself on the football action. I saw yourself doing a live stream for the Cork and Roscommon game. What's the story there? What's going on in that one?
Yeah. So Roscommon beating Cork, Cork beating Roscommon. Sorry to get Roscommon fans' hopes up there. Cork beat Roscommon by a point, so that was a big surprise. Big
wow.
Shock. Yeah, big shock.
Like,
I don't know if it is that big of a shock, really, though.
It's not that much. I think if me and Matthew were talking about it before, and the two of us were kind of very much entertaining the idea of Cork winning, but we did eventually both pick Roscommon by the narrowest of margins, like genuinely a point or two. But again, that's another year where Roscommon have failed to get through the glass ceiling. I was saying that up until this point, outside of Connacht, Roscommon have failed to win a big game.
Yeah, and that's
Last
the thing.
year
Like,
they got beaten by Clare again this year.
yeah, and like I predicted on my own show, I predicted Cork to win on penalties. So it was a bit of a dubious prediction there. But I fancied them though to nick it though. I felt like Roscommon looked very off against Kildare, and they only really have one way of playing, which is to keep the ball for large parts. And I thought against Kildare, they didn't take enough risks, they didn't take enough chances, and it was the same against Cork. Like they just kept the ball for. There was moments in the first half where they must have kept possession for about 4 or 5 minutes on the bounce, and then they might get a score over or they'll get a chance. They just kept the ball for too long, and Cork were there for the taking in the first half. Like Roscommon were 4 points up going into the final couple of minutes of the first half, and then Cork hit 3 on the bounce, and then had a huge amount of momentum going into the second half. And like, to be fair to Roscommon, they were 6 points down going into the final 15 minutes, and they actually they didn't hit a wide in the second half, which was kind of bizarre. So like, it wasn't like their shooting was poor or anything of that nature. I just think they got a little bit sloppy with passes. They gave the ball away on a good few occasions. And I think Cork physically, like, were really, really strong. They kept turning Roscommon over in and around like their halfback area. Brian O'Driscoll was brilliant. Rory Maguire, very good as well. And yeah, Roscommon just ran out of energy, and you could start to see in the final 10 to 15 minutes, although they were doing very well in front of goal shooting wise, there was an element of panic. And like, Enda Smith got sent off as well in the final minute. He just had a punch out on one of the Cork players, and that was actually a key moment as well, because the ref was about to throw the ball up and he would have allowed one more attack, and if Roscommon had won the ball, they could have went down the other end and got the equaliser. But because Enda Smith done what he done, it was a free to Cork, and then the ref just literally blew it like as soon as he kicked the ball. So and in fairness, Enda Smith was brilliant all game as well. He was Roscommon's best player. So it was like a very sad way for his championship to end, because I think he's actually had a very good year. Like, I thought he was very good against Kildare last year as well, and very good against Dublin. But yeah, like, mad to think, like, Roscommon went toe to toe with the entirety of Division 1 and then lost to two Division 2 teams
that failed to get out of Division 2.
Just, like, I'd say if you're a Roscommon fan, you're absolutely sick. Like, and yeah, no, I'd say,
how have they done that?
Like, how do you go from nearly beating Dublin to then
to losing back-to-back games to Kildare and Cork?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That one, it was right. My memory, I could be getting this mixed up. Was the Kildare one at home?
No, it was away. It was in.
It was in O'Connor Park, wasn't it?
Yeah, because obviously Newbridge is under construction, but
okay,
but mental, like.
That is mental, because I remember that day in Croke Park. I actually remember being very impressed with them. I remember being very impressed with them when Dublin got the goal from John Small, the sloppy one. I remember thinking, okay, this is the 10 minutes where Dublin now kick on and bury Roscommon. And the way that they held Dublin in that 10 minutes, I was very impressed with them. I was thinking, okay, like, I see something different this year from previous years. And just to see it all amount to nothing is really, really disappointing, because like I've been rooting for Roscommon to make the breakthrough, and it always annoyed me how that they've been so good in Connacht, and then like they can go toe to toe with Mayo, they can go toe to toe with Galway, but then Mayo and Galway always manage to seem to take it to that extra level when they get to the quarterfinals, whereas Roscommon haven't done that yet.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like it's just, there's a weird dynamic in Gaelic football at the moment where, like, a lot of teams relish being the underdog and a lot of teams don't like being the favourites. Like, you look
That's
at
so
Dublin,
true. Monaghan are another team like that.
Yeah,
Monaghan can't be the favourites. Like,
yeah, and like, they're playing. I think I've seen there on Scorpio, they're beating Kildare by a point at the moment. Like, the game just kicked off or just threw in, but like, they're a team as well that, like, they'll be favourites against Kildare. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Obviously playing O'Connor Park and Tullamore as well. But yeah, there's just so many teams that, like, favour being the underdog, you know. And I think even like Roscommon are like that. I think Kildare relish being an underdog. They don't necessarily like being favourites. I've seen it with loads of teams, like even down in the Tailteann Cup as well. Like, you've seen teams, you know, the likes of Limerick and everything else causing shocks. Laois as well. Antrim at the best of times. Like, so it's been a mad championship, and be interesting to see, like, what happens.
Armagh love being an underdog.
Yeah, Tyrone as well. You know, like Tyrone love being wrote off. And yeah, they'll probably turn up a big performance this evening now. Everyone writing them off going in against Donegal. So yeah, it's mad.
We're back. We're back in the studio now. I think the pundits are talking away here. Got Ursula Jacob talking. So before the second half does throw in, as two Dublin fans, what are we expecting from the second half? What do we actually think is going to happen?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like there's two kind of thought processes. There's one thought process that's seen these kind of games before, where Dublin drag it back but still don't win. Like we could drag this back and get level with about 63, 64 minutes, and then Clare will just turn it around and win the game by a point or two and be like, geez, what a performance by Dublin. Like, what a fight back. Like, fair play to the lads and everything else. Like, I remember we've done that against Kilkenny a couple of years ago. Yeah. We've done it against Tipperary. Like, it's happened multiple times before. That could happen, or it could just be routine for Clare. And I think, like, if Clare step it up again, even more in the second half, I think, there's going to be, there's definitely more goals in it, and, definitely 2 or 3 more goals probably in this Clare team, in fairness. So, but yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm annoyed there because I've seen Sean Curry come out the tunnel and just turn and go to the subs bench. Like, Sean Curry's not getting put on. Like, what does Sean Curry have to do to play a game? What does the Dublin forward line have to do for Sean Curry to get a run out? But yeah, like number 24 is on for Dublin. Actually, wait, I have it here. One substitute, number 24, Alex Considine. Okay, now that's a good sub. I like seeing Alex come in, seeing what he can do. But yeah, I feel like in the second half, look, I think Dublin will start the third quarter relatively well. We'll battle away. We'll pull Clare back a few points in, and then Clare will get another goal. I think that will be curtains, unfortunately. But we are back underway right here in the second half from the Gaelic Grounds in Limerick. 4-8 to Clare, 1-8 to Dublin. Early attack here. It's Considine.
Yeah, and I don't think the ref is
going straight at them. Yeah.
But yeah,
he showed a bit of heart there. Ran straight at the Clare defense. Showed a goal.
Yeah. No, yeah, like, and he's a good player, in fairness, to bring on. Like, he's
what's the gig with Ronan Hayes?
With who?
With Ronan Hayes, is he away or?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, he hasn't really cut it in a Dublin shirt in the last year or so, really, which is strange because he's been so good for Kilmuckle Crokes. But there's a few players. Andrew Jameson Murphy of Nafina is a very good player. Can't seem to get in the team. Sean Curry as well. Like, there's a lot of good players. Like, you'd wonder, would it nearly be better playing someone like an Andrew Jameson Murphy or Ronan Hayes than Danny Sutcliffe? Like, because Danny Sutcliffe, as good as he is, he's not the same player that he was 7, 8, 9 years ago. And, like, realistically, it'd be better probably for a younger player to play there, and then sort of build into the team, because, like, how much longer has Danny Sutcliffe got in the tank? I don't exactly know. But
I actually wouldn't be surprised if he calls it quits after this series. He's 33 years of age.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes. But, like, it's one of those things there. In the first half, he actually was making great catches, and he just wasn't finishing them off. Like, that's just the truth. He still has the raw ability there. Clare have got another point. Mark Rogers. They've hit the first 2 points of the second half. One from Tony Kelly, one from Mark Rogers. It's literally picked back up where it left off. Yeah, I fully agree with what you said. I fully think that, like, it wasn't a case of Dublin dropping the pace for 5 minutes. It was a case of Clare finally taking their chances. Like, Sean Brennan made a great save. Shane O'Donnell looked like he could have gone for goal from the rebound, tapped it over the bar. Shane O'Donnell got through and laid it off to Ian Galvin, botched the layoff. Dublin have just got a point there from Paul Crummy.
It's a good point, yeah.
Like, that type of thing, that I just think it was just not even necessarily a case of Dublin dropping the game. I just thought Clare actually just got rootless for about 5 minutes and stopped messing around.
I think so, yeah. I think they just upped the ante, and here they go again. Running straight through.
Oh, no. This is it.
Here we go. Goal number 5. So,
for God's sake.
Right. Well, I think that might be my cue to leave you back.
We'll go have our grievances in peace.
Yeah.
Tony Kelly's at the back of the net. A hat trick for him. 5-10 to Clare, 1-9 to Dublin. This is going to be a long half hour.
Yeah, no bother. Well, look, cheers
All right,
anyway.
I really appreciate you coming on, Aaron. Right, enjoy the rest of the game if you can.
No bother. You too. Sam, man. Cheers.
Right. So yeah, we have just picked up right back where we left off in the first half. Big thanks again to Aaron Prendergast, the man from Gaelic Games Fan TV, for coming on our show there today. So Tony Kelly has got a hat trick in this game, 5-10 to 1-9. It's more than double scores. It's 25 points to 12. I actually thought Dublin would come out in the second half and really stick it to Clare in the first 15 minutes of the second half, and then Clare would get one more goal and that would be that. Tony Kelly's eyeing up a sideline. I absolutely believe he has this in the locker. That's short, but it's straight into the hand of Ian Galvin. Turning Dara Gray. Lays it back out. Well done, Keane Boland. No, dropped it. Mark Rogers into the hand. Looked like he was fouled. Is fouled. Free in for Clare. This will be another score. Not looking good. Here you go. Lesser known King says tough one to take. Absolutely tough one to take. Because with 10 minutes left in the first half, we were doing really, really well. And as if we haven't conceded enough goals, Clare have just brought in Aaron Shanahan for Shane O'Donnell. And Aaron Shanahan literally goes for goals all the time. So, yeah, this is going to be quite tough to watch now, this one. Standing over this is Mark Rogers. I imagine this will go straight over the bar. Indeed. Clare 5-11. Dublin a goal and 9. Getting ugly very, very quickly. And the fact that they brought in Aaron Shanahan tells me that they're going to hit direct ball into him and he's going to go for goal too. So I think Clare will get another goal in this half. But Dublin might get another one here. Fergal Whiteley. Lost possession. Ava Quilligan. Out to Mark Rogers. Mark Rogan is with him. Who's marking who? There seems to be no idea from Dublin of who's picking up who. Now we have Paddy Smith on Ian Galvin. Now Ian Galvin. Paddy Smith loses the ball. Here's Danny Sutcliffe. Back in the full back line. Sutcliffe drives it forward. Cathal Malone scoops that up easily. Across to Diarmuid Ryan. Pings it from right to left. Broken down. Conor Burke picks up the break. Down the middle to Owen O'Donnell, who's in the half-forward line. I mean, I've always been a favour that, Owen O'Donnell should be played further out the pitch from full-back, in my opinion. I actually think Brian Sheehy from Kilmacud Crokes should be put at full-back for Dublin, and they should move Owen O'Donnell out to midfield. That's my opinion. I think O'Donnell is too good to have at the edge of the square. He's fantastic. I'll be interested to see how he gets on in the second half. Keane O'Sullivan on the free here. Do you know what? Go for goal, Keane. Literally got nothing to lose. No, bangs it straight over. The reality is from the next puck out, Clare are going to go down the other end and score a point. We're 13 points behind. It's a long way back. Ava Quilligan now drives it out. Down to Aaron Shanahan. Conor Donoghue. Inside towards Fergal Whiteley. Oh, broken loose. Tony Kelly on the break. Tony Kelly on his left. Tony Kelly over the bar. See, that's exactly my point about the free. I get that you want to keep the scoreboard ticking over, but Clare have immediately just cancelled that out. 10 to 5-12. 14 points in it. Again, more than double scores. Well, the one thing that this is showing is just how high the bar is. Cathal Malone. Off his right, over the bar. And the one thing that, on top of the fact that this is becoming, difficult to watch as a Dublin fan, but on top of that is the fact that this also should be a little bit concerning for Galway, given that Galway really struggled against Dublin and drew with them. The fact that Clare are dismantling Dublin. And that's a good score by Danny Sutcliffe. Still carrying the fight to Dublin. And as I was saying to Aaron at half time there, I actually wouldn't be surprised if Danny, calls it a day. He's 33 years of age. He's won an All-Star. He's won a Leinster title, of course, in 2013. Does he have another couple of years in him? Who knows? Eibhear Quilligan fires this one out, though. Ball breaks. Conor Burke back there to scoop it up from St. Vincent's. Oh, that just sums it up, doesn't it? A short pass from Conor Burke to Mark Rogan, like literally a meet and drink pass, and goes out over the sideline. You can see the frustration, but that is the situation that we are in right now. 44 minutes gone. Mark Rogers on this sideline for Clare. He's going to go for it. It's in there at the goal. It breaks. Oh, that was so nearly in the back of the net again. Mark Rogan scoops up the rebound. Did well. Skip past Ian Galvin. Now Chris O'Leary drives it across, looking for Alex Considine, who has been quiet in the second half. Picked up by Paul Flanagan. To Peter Duggan. He's out around the midfield now. Little hook on him at the end. In towards Sean Brennan. Calmly passed out as far as Dara Power, who of course got that goal for Dublin in the first half. I was very confident when that goal went in. God, that feels like a long, long time ago now. Double scores, 5-13 to 1-11. And honestly, I don't see Clare not scoring another goal. They very nearly got one there from the Mark Rogers sideline. David Fitzgerald got a flick on it. Mark Rogers on the sideline again. And it's a free for Clare, actually. Mark Rogers standing over it. Fully expect him to score, given the form that he has been in. Straight over. God, like the minute he hit it, that was just never wavering, never in any doubt. Straight over the bar by Mark Rogers, who this season is really blossoming into the hurler that we all know he can be. David Reedy is in for Clare. Ian Galvin is off. My honest truth now for Clare is I would take Tony Kelly off. I mean, he's already proven, he's got a hat trick. Don't let him get injured. Just whip him off, honestly, at this stage. Sean Curry, finally. Sean Curry's in from the Fianna. 10 points in the Dublin club final against Kilmacud Crokes. Hasn't even gotten really a consistent run in the team. He's in now, replacing Cian Boland. And Cian, as always, did his stuff, got stuck in. But Clare have just shown us the levels this year. Tony Kelly tags on another point. Dublin 1-11, Clare 5-15. It's going to continue to get worse and worse in the second half. Any Dublin fans watching me here, we're in it together at least. It's going to be a long 25 minutes. Made easier by that. Over the bar by Cian O'Sullivan. The one thing that I will say, and you cannot take it away from this Dublin team, is that they are fighters. Like they are a team that are going to keep going until the final whistle. Eibhear Quilligan over this puck out now. We've got 23 minutes left to play. Quilligan with the puck out to Paul Flanagan. Flanagan back to Quilligan. Quilligan out to Roar. Oh, Hogan went for the dodgy one there. It came into Paul Flanagan. Out to Cathal Malone. From right to left. Inside. Shanahan out to Mark Rogers. That was a dodgy touch. It could work out for Clare. It definitely will work out for Clare. Mark Rogers over the bar. That came off a dodgy touch by Aaron Shanahan. Rebounded back out to Mark Rogers. Just his footwork there was fantastic. Up and over the bar. 5-16 to 1-12. Mark Grogan now for Dublin. Just keep going. Just take this as a learning experience and take what you can from it. Cathal Malone. To Diarmuid Ryan here. Fergal Whiteley to Connor Burke. And that's a foul on Adam Hogan by Paul Crummy. And Hogan is a really, really good cornerback. Like, he's a real pit bull. Like, he's a real determined, tight cornerback. A real throwback to, you know, your Paul Murphys, your Jackie Tyrrells. Tony Kelly has come all the way back here. He's going to have a shot at this, I believe. Hasn't taken a free today, so why not? Except he doesn't shoot. He goes short into the path of David Fitzgerald, who's running onto this. Two Dublin defenders come out to him, but Fitzgerald had time to get the shot away, and he's put it wide. Did expect him to score that one. He'll be disappointed that he didn't. Puck out falls to Shane and Morey. Clare just toying with Dublin now at this stage. Angled ball in to Aaron Shanaher. Great catch by Shanaher. Shanaher looking sharp. Straight over the bar by Aaron Shanaher. The crossfield pass was lovely. And up got big Aaron Shanaher. And over the bar. I'm being honest, I fully expect Clare to score another goal. Maybe not in the next 5 minutes, but definitely in the 60th, 65th kind of minute. To kind of top off the misery. Oh, Alex Considine. Come on, Alex. Oh, great goal. Well done. That's what Alex Considine can do. And that does make it look a little bit better. And still worrying enough for Clare that he was able to get through that easy. Now Grogan onto this. Shanahan touches it out over the sideline. Dublin line ball. 20 minutes left. Let's just give a good account of ourselves for these final 20 minutes. Go out with a bit of pride. Because we aren't going to win, but let's go out with a bit of pride. Considine, great finish. Into the ground. Very hard one for the goalkeeper to stop and bounced up into the corner of the net. Clare have converted 22 out of 35 scoring chances. Dublin have converted 14 out of 27. Roughly similar conversion rate. That was definitely a foul on Aaron Shanahan by Paddy Smith. Smith looks like he's injured himself in the process. His right leg, he's holding it there now. It is, but anybody who wants to get involved, of course, in the discussion, do not forget, comment whatever about the game. And yeah, I'll answer it here in the lives chat. But yeah, one thing for sure, as that last comment said, the one here, from of course, Lesser Known Kings, it is a tough one to take. There's no doubt about that. It is a tough one to take. We went into this game, I was quietly confident that we could put it up to Clare. And look, we did for 30 minutes. And then Clare just absolutely blew us away in the final few minutes of the half. And it's picked up where it left off at the start of the second half. Tony Kelly getting his hat trick is what it is. And that was nasty. Danny Sutcliffe, blood on his wrist. Very nasty. I think it was a Clare defender. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't think so. Stood on Danny's wrist and there's blood there. Danny is as tough as they come though, so he's going to carry on. Meanwhile, at the other end, Mark Rogers slots over the free for Clare. And now it is 5-18 to 2-12. Don't forget as well, we also have Galway Tipperary coming up after that. And what a game that is going to be immediately after this one. Ryan Taylor drives it down the line. Mark Rogers. Shot over his right shoulder off the left. And Mark Rogers is doing his stuff now. Another point for him. He is an outstanding hurler. Of course, Fitzgibbon Cup title this year as well. Part of that UL team with Michael Kiley that won the final. Part of Brian O'Mara was on that team as well. A real star-studded. Grode O'Connor, another one. A real star-studded UL side. But yeah, it's locked into that kind of a bit of a dead atmosphere now where everybody knows Dublin are going out. Dublin know they're going out. Clare know they're going through. There's not really too much on it. The Galway team are down in the corner watching this game. Very interested spectators, no doubt. Wonder where the Tipperary side are. Keane O'Sullivan with the free over the bar. This is what I'm talking about. I wonder what Galway will think watching this game. Like this, I know, as I said, hurling math doesn't always add up, but this is a Dublin side that Galway drew with. And they are getting completely ripped apart by Clare. You wonder what difference Donald Burke would have made. Honestly, this might be a bit of a controversial one to say. I don't think that much because Donald Burke scores a lot, but I don't think he does much defensively. Now we have Owen O'Donnell coming down the other end, lays it off. Shot on the turn by Paul Crummy is good. Dublin 2-14, Clare 5-19. So, look, we are keeping the scoreboard ticking over. O'Donnell has made a few lung-busting runs now up the pitch, and I am one that I don't care. Like, O'Donnell, for me, should be midfield and Brian Sheehy fullback. Now, Dara Gray scoops up the rebound there. Now, here comes Conor Donoghue. Out to Mark Rogan. Skips inside the challenge of Ryan Taylor. Goes, I know what he was trying to do, but it didn't work out. Pass down the line. Cathal Malone. Off his left-hand side. Looking for Peter Duggan. Battered away by Dara Gray. It comes out to Aaron Shanahan, the white helmet's got me mixed up. Diarmid Ryan. Inside, looking for David Fitzgerald. Should have got that. And it's wide. He knows he should have done more with that. Not like it matters too much anyway. But, yeah. He'll know he should have probably done better with that. Sean Brennan with the puck out. Out to Mark Grogan. Fires it across the field. Out comes Paul Crummy. Back as far as Dara Power. Inside, looking for Alex Considine. It breaks. Now Sean Curry. Inside to Alex Considine. Considine trying to burrow his way through. Keane O'Sullivan. And it's a free out for Clare. Adam Hogan has ripped his helmet off because his mouth looks like it's bleeding there. I don't know what happened. I actually don't know what happened there. He got a bad bang there. Yeah, blood sub. For sure. But obviously as well, we have another, potential classic incoming between Galway and Tipperary. It's very interesting to see what happens in that one. Honest truth, I'm not 100% surprised that this has happened. I mean, let's be honest. Coming into this game, it was fairly obvious that Dublin were going to have to play the game of their lives and Clare were going to have to play pretty badly. Cian Nolan is in for Clare, replacing Adam Hogan. He's gone straight on to Paul Crummy. And this will be good practice for Cian Nolan because Paul Crummy has been really, really good today. And obviously, he needs to get his confidence back up. David Reedy, that looked like potential touch on the ground. Doesn't matter. He's put the ball wide. He did very, very well to hold on to it. Now, Clare win the next puck out again. This time it's Aaron Shanahan having a blast from distance, straight between the posts and over the bar. And he, like, the fact that Aaron Shanahan doesn't even start for Clare really tells you just how talented they are. Now, Keane O'Sullivan. Keane O'Sullivan gives it to his right. Why did you stop running? Shot on goal, well saved, and the rebound is saved by Ava Quilligan again. Alex Considine was right in there. We should have got a goal out of that. We didn't. Fergal Whiteley had a good shot, well saved by Quilligan, but it was straight at him. Considine hit the second one on the ground, straight at Quilligan again. So look, it's a double save. He did well. It's not an amazing double save, but it was a good one. I don't think Considine should have lashed it. I think, if anything, he probably should have tried to scoop it or place it. But look, that's hindsight. If it had gone into the back of the net, I would have been saying, well done. And Alex has done really well since he's came in, got a great goal. Keane O'Sullivan standing over this free now for Dublin, trying to reduce the gap to 14 points. And he has missed. And that's the first free I think he's missed all day. And we are now entering the final 10 minutes of this game. And look, in the second half, it has not gone how I thought it would go. I thought Dublin would be right in there for the start of the second half. And then Clare would push away in the final quarter. It's kind of gone the other way around. Dara Purcell is in for Dara Power. That's two players for the future. Dara Power, a star of the under-20s, a star of the minor side that beat Kilkenny in that Leinster final a few years ago. And will be a starter for Dublin over the next few years. And Dublin have been turned over. David Fitzgerald, are they going to get that sixth goal? No, not in this attack. But Fitzgerald has blasted it over the bar. 5-21, Dublin 2-14. And look, David Fitzgerald driving through the middle the way that he does, the power and the pace that he's running at is ridiculous. Ryan Taylor here. And now Owen O'Donnell. Showing well, running well. This is why he should be at midfield. Shot drop short. Ava Quilligan. To Cian Nolan. Driving through, lays it off to Diarmuid Ryan. Clare have hit 12 wides. Dublin have hit 10. Now David Reedy. Outside to Tony Kelly. This is big trouble. Tony Kelly decides to scoop it over the bar. Another point for Clare. Clare 5-22. Dublin 2-14. Honestly, speaking right now, prediction for the final score, 10 minutes time, I'm going to say Clare 6-26. Dublin 2-17 or something. I do think Clare will get another goal, though. That's the main thing. Aaron Shanahan. Missed. Conor Burke gets on it. Scoop back across now as far as Dara Gray. And he's got it. Dara Gray bombs one over from a huge distance out. Great finish by the Whitehall Column Kills, man. And now the referee is going in to check something here. And what is he going to do here? He's talking to a Clare defender, and this could get interesting now what he does here. He's called over Cian Nolan. Yellow card. What is that for? So wait, hang on. They're saying on the commentary that it was a foul. Wait 1 second. So it switched across to Dara Gray. Cian Nolan is standing on the hurl. It wasn't even in the penalty box, so it's fine. Clare have brought in Patrick Crotty, and he is replacing Peter Duggan. And Crotty is one of the merchants of the socks up trend. Not a fan of that. I can't lie. I'm not a fan of the socks up. I don't know. Even Bernard Brogan couldn't pull it off, in my opinion. That's a harsh one. Bernard Brogan probably could, but I feel like you have to be that good to wear the socks up. Maybe he is that good, but this is my first time seeing Patrick Crotty, so we'll see what he does. Maybe he'll be the one to get the sixth goal. Be interesting to see. Danny Sutcliffe, was he pulled back or did he overcarry? And free to Clare instead, even though he was fouled. It is what it is. And Mark Rogers standing over this one now. And he drives it straight wide. I thought he would get that one, but not to be this time. 64 minutes gone. Clare, 5:22. Dublin, 2:15 still. Cian Galvin is coming in now for Clare, and he is replacing Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor, a fantastic player for this Clare side. But anybody, if you're watching, let me know what you think about this game. 5 minutes left to play, roughly. What do we make of it? Hopefully the ref doesn't add too much added time on. Dara Purcell now for Dublin. Cian O'Sullivan skipping by, drives it back into the centre. Good ball by Cian. Dara Purcell over the bar. Kind of mishits it, falls short to Ava Quilligan. And Clare now begin to take it out. Diarmuid Ryan skips it across to Mark Rogers. Rogers drives it in low. Out to it was David Reedy, but he miscontrolled it. Paddy Smith gives it back to Dara Gray. Gray trying to power through David Reedy, who fouled him. Gray takes the free quickly. The referee says too quickly. I mean, why are you even doing that at this stage, ref? Like, come on. Like, we're 16 points behind, and he's getting picky about, I didn't blow the whistle to say he could take the free. Sean Brennan now is going to take this free. Deep inside the Dublin half. He goes long and direct. And it ends up, would you believe, in Tony Kelly's possession. And Tony Kelly looks like he's playing at centre half back now. Miscontrol by Diarmuid Ryan. Big hit on Danny Sutcliffe by Diarmuid Ryan. Maybe trying to get one back for John Conlon. Of course, anybody watching who wasn't watching the first half, John Conlon took a huge hit off Danny Sutcliffe and went off injured in the first half. Donald Burke also went off injured in the first half, so he's not on the freeze. One man who is on the freeze is Cian O'Sullivan, and he's just hit one over there for the foul on Sutcliffe. So now Dublin 2:16, Clare 5:22. Patrick Crotty with the socks up. Into the middle, looking for Aaron Shanaher. And Shanaher definitely was looking for a goal there. Well stopped by Owen O'Donnell. Shanaher back out to Mark Rogers. And Rogers has one look at the post and puts it straight between them. Great score by Rogers. He's been Dublin's kind of, alongside Tony Kelly with the hat-trick, Mark Rogers has been Dublin's primary tormentor today. Just looks grim, doesn't it? 2:16 to 5:23. It's a real wake-up call of how high the bar is Dublin have to get to if they want to compete for All-Irelands. And that sounds bizarre even saying that right now. It is mad though, like Dublin lost by 6 points to Kilkenny and really did look quite good in long periods of that game. And Kilkenny battered this Clare team in the All-Ireland semi-final last year. So it all just is on what version of the team turns up on the day. Davy Fitzgerald now, another powerful run. And without even catching it, just strikes it on the run over the bar. He is world class. David Fitzgerald is literally a ridiculous hurler. He's so good. Literally running full pace, doesn't even look at the post, just knows where they are, just telepathically, they're over there, puts it over the bar. Clare won the puck out again. Cathal Malone driving down the left channel this time into Mark Rogers. This will be over the bar. Will it hang on? It will. Straight over the bar by Mark Rogers. I think he said that Mark Rogers has got a goal in 10. I mean, that's just crazy. And now Clare bring in Shane Meehan, the real star for the future. And he is in place of Tony Kelly. And a huge cheer for the Balliar man. Genuinely one of the best hurlers I've ever seen. Drives the puck out looking for O'Donnell. Fergal Whiteley battling hard to Danny Sutcliffe, who has battled hard all game. And that shot by Sutcliffe is wide. Ava Quilligan standing over the puck out. 69 minutes gone. So it's been a baptism of fire for my first ever live stream covering a hurling match. Thought, could Dublin pull off an absolute miracle to against Clare? Turns out not quite. As Dermot Ryan fires in this shot and it goes wide. Remains 5:25 to Clare, 2:16 to Dublin. I wonder what Brian Lohan will make of this, because they have had periods of this game where they haven't been too impressive. So how will he think back on this, especially with Kilkenny coming up next? The referee is calling over. Now, the last thing Clare want to do is get involved in anything stupid now and potentially have a player sent off. So in my opinion, no matter what the Dublin lads are saying, do not get involved with them. It is Danny Sutcliffe who's got a yellow card. Mark Grogan. Down the line to Alex Considine, who has been good off the bench. Considine gives it inside to Owen O'Donnell. O'Donnell and wide. Out to Fergal Whiteley. Was a goal chance. Great hook by the Clare defender. And Whiteley still got the shot off, but wide. And to be honest, I'm surprised the Clare haven't got a sixth goal. I thought they definitely would have. We've kept fighting. That's one thing that you cannot take away from this Dublin team. We fight until the last minute of the game. Patrick Crotty. Inside towards Mark Rogers. No, it's Shane Meehan. And Meehan, this kid's got ridiculous pace. And that shot is wide, though, from Shane Meehan. But he has serious pace. He looked like he could absolutely burn a lot of defenders in Ireland there with that pace. Burke didn't even look where he hit that one. Just straight at Shane Amori. Rory Hayes. Shane Meehan. Coming through is Aaron Shanahan. Well, he's put the ball over the bar, but it's a free. 4 minutes of added time. Come on, just make it end. Don't let Clare get another goal. 5:25 to 2:16. 40 points to 22. So Mark Rogers standing over this, and this will be another score, lads. Do remember as well, I will be turning off the live stream as soon as the game finishes. So any thoughts that you have on the game, just throw them into the comments if you want me to react to them. As Mark Rogers stands over this free, we just ticked into 72 minutes. And he does. Straight over the bar by Mark Rogers. 5:26 to 2:16 for the Banner County. Driven out by Sean Brennan. It's come through to Danny Sutcliffe. Lovely pass. Fergal Whiteley from Kilmacud Crokes. Battling hard. Back to Danny Sutcliffe. Trying to go through Rory Hayes. And a free in for Dublin. Got the shot off. could tell Sutcliffe just wanted to run Rory Hayes over, but Hayes is a little pit bull of a defender. Wasn't going to let Sutcliffe do that. 2 weeks to go until the All-Ireland Hurling semi-finals. Clare will be sure to be ready. Cian O'Sullivan drills the shot over the bar. So Dublin 2-17. Clare 5-26. And I think that could be the final score that we are looking at right now. I don't imagine the ref will allow too much after now. We're 73 and a half minutes gone. 4 minutes of added time was announced. So there's 30 seconds roughly left of this game. Sean Curry. Now, Dublin are pouring a lot of lads forward, trying to make one last score count before the end of the game, but it's broken free to David Fitzgerald. It would be fitting if he got the last score. He has been the best player. Drops short to Sean Brennan. He clears it out to the left-hand side towards Cian O'Sullivan. We are now overtime. This will be the last play. O'Sullivan drives it forward. It comes to Mark Grogan. It breaks out to Paul Flanagan. The referee blows the full-time whistle. Clare are into the All-Ireland Hurling semi-finals. Dublin are out of the All-Ireland Hurling Championship 2023. Good victory for Clare. Dublin were, right there with them in the first half for long periods. But as I was talking, Darren, I don't even necessarily think it's because of Dublin's brilliance. I just think Clare weren't taking their chances in the first half. But by God, they did take their chances in the spell coming towards the end of the first half, hitting the back of the net, leaving it 4-8 to 1-8 at halftime. In the second half, things just kind of carried on exactly the same. Tony Kelly completed his hat-trick very quickly after the restart, and Dublin just weren't able to come back. Alex Considine got a great goal in the second half. He made an impact off the bench, but the gulf in class was apparent, and we weren't ready to get into the All-Ireland semi-finals off the back of that performance. So work to be done, but overall, it's been a good season for Dublin. I've seen some progress, and overall, I'm relatively happy with how the year has gone. The performance against Galway was the one I was the most proud of this year. So, that's been the live watch-along, guys, here on Play on GAA. Do tune in to the Galway-Tipperary game as well, and do make sure to check out all of the weekend recaps, which will be here on Play on Cluiche as well, guys. Now, obviously, on Cluiche used to be Play on GAA, but now it's on Cluiche. But look, tough one to take, but we will bounce back next season. Check out all the content on the channel across the weekend, guys. And until the next one, take care.